special section because what we have here is more evidence for the Bible that we believe to be true and very accurate. Sitting right behind me is an ossuary, Caiaphas, the high priest. This is well known as being very much the authentic burial box of Caiaphas, the same one that was talked about in the New Testament. And here we have evidence that Caiaphas actually existed. Moving over here, we have an inscription that was found in Caesarea in the 1960s. We had no evidence whatsoever archaeologically that Pontius Pilate actually existed for real until this was discovered. It was an inscription that Pilate had made for Tiberius. It was used in the theater, underneath the theater, as just a paving stone. And we have it today. This is the original. And so 50 years ago, we had nothing except for historical evidence, and here we have a stone that tells us that there really was a man named Pontius Pilate. Moving over here, here's another ossuary. This was crucified bones of Jehoiakim. That was discovered in the 1960s. And this box here this is a replica of a bone that is a nail through an ankle bone. And that is just an amazing piece there that they're not going to show us the original. But this is, all of this being evidence that we can see that the Bible is accurate and it is worthy of being trusted. Crucifixion actually took place. We have Pontius Pilate being a real person, and we have Caiaphas, the high priest, and his family's bones that were in there. So here we are. And at the Israeli Museum, you can't get much closer than this. For MRM, this is Eric Johnson. We're in the Israeli Museum, and I'm standing in front of a section of boxes that are called the Jesus tomb boxes. And the ossuary of Judah, son of Jesus, is right here. We've got the ossuary of Jesus, son of Joseph. And these are boxes that have been used by a lot of liberals to say that Jesus actually was buried. And this was a very popular theory back in 2005, and National Geographic did a big deal on that. Cameron, the movie producer, did a movie on the Jesus tomb. And we just need to say a couple of things why this could not be the ossuaries of Jesus and his family. Number one, we have no evidence that Jesus was ever married, that he had a wife and he had children. But we have to also understand that Jesus was buried in a tomb that was not his own, Joseph of Arimathea. Jesus, if he would have been buried with his family, would have been buried in Galilee and not been buried anywhere in Jerusalem. Also, he would not have had a bone box. If you're buried in the ground, you were just buried in the ground. Ossuaries are for the caves. And Jesus was not buried in that kind of a place. And so these are the theories that scholars come up with to try to say that Jesus was not actually resurrected. If you take away the resurrection, you take away Christianity. But we have so many pieces of evidence. I mean, the disciples giving up their lives in order to be able to follow Jesus. If they had known that his bones were in a cave, they certainly wouldn't have done that. And for them to have stolen the body just so they could have buried it in a bone box with his wife and kids, and not even in his own hometown of Nazareth, wouldn't have made any sense. This theory has been refuted despite what the scholars will try to make us think. Every Easter we seem to come out with new theories. But the only possible conclusion is what Paul concluded in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 500 people saw the resurrected Jesus Christ. And so we can have evidence and know more than just in our hearts, but we can know with our minds that there really was a resurrection. This is Eric Johnson for MRM.